G'day there and welcome to a brand new video. For those that haven't seen me before, my name is Tom Woods and I'm a professional photographer that's based on the Sunshine Coast in Queensland, and I specialise in water photography, surf photography, travel photography and run a commercial photography business. So with these YouTubes I just try and take you through little random shoots that I do throughout the year. A lot of them are surf and water photography, but today we're actually going to look at just the environmental portraits. So it was an impromptu portrait that my son Billy just got me to do on the spur of the moment. So I took a little GoPro down there, got some little insights and behind the scenes footage of me doing this shoot. So I'll take you through that and then we'll come back into the studio and look at what we've got. Alright, we're taking you on a little shoot today, just in my own backyard. That's my house where I live up at the moment, up past those trees somewhere. And I hope that's a good shot. But then, this is literally steps from my place where I'm living at the moment, in a rainforest. That's my son through there, Billy, and he spends hours fossicking around here looking for reptiles mainly. But there's a little creek down the back there and it's been raining literally for 2 days non-stop, and I thought, well he thought actually, he said, "Dad, it'd be a good portrait and I'd love to get a shot of him in this environment because it's been a special part for him over the last few months. He's found some great critters down here." So, you know, getting a portrait in an environment that the person loves and thrives in is a big part of it, and he reckons that today could be the day to get that portrait. So what I've got is I've got my housing here. I've just got a straight 50mm lens, just had that on the camera. We've just raced down here, so the light's looking pretty good, and yeah, I've got my shirt off because I might go in the water, but it's not going to be an underwater shot. I could probably take this without my housing, but having a housing because it's sort of raining a little bit, and you know, there's a chance that I will get the camera lens low to the water. So another real value of having a water housing. So we'll see how we go. Alright, so I shot with the 50mm in the housing. Figured probably don't need the housing, so I went back and got the 100mm. I prefer shooting 100mm for portraits. So this is the 100mm with the Canon EOS R5, one of my new cameras. So pretty pumped to use it, and so I'm going to reshoot those pictures that I did with 100mm and see if I can get some shots. The light's sort of coming good now. There's a little bit of backlighting through this sort of super rainy weather, so I reckon it could come out pretty epic. So let's get shooting with the 100mm. 2 or 3 factors that go into a portrait, and that's getting feeling from the subject, getting them in the environment that they love, and then blending those two things together to, you know, come up with a telling portrait. And hopefully I've done that with this portrait. Let's go have pictures. Okay, so we are back in the studio after our little shoot. It's actually a couple of days later and it's still raining, so wet up here, so I've got plenty of chance to get on the computer and do some editing. So I've gone through the photos and I've picked out a whole heap actually. I've only got really 2 or 3 that I actually like, but I thought with this process I would take you through my selection process. So also take you back to the day of the shoot where I was sort of finding my feet and trying to get exactly what I wanted. So I've recently got the new Canon EOS R5, the R5, and it's an incredible camera, and I was shooting with the 100mm for probably most of my favourite shots. So like I said, I did start out with the 50mm and then migrated to the 100mm outside of the housing in the R5. So I'm looking forward to getting a housing for that R5. I haven't got one yet, but I just thought let's just take you through the photos. So these first few photos were the ones taken with the 50mm lens, And this is the sort of thing I wanted. I wanted Billy in the environment, the green lush rainforest, him searching for animals and little critters and all sorts of things that he does all day, every day. And so I said, just walk up and down the river, and I'll take some photos as you go up and down. This one was a little bit more posed because I wanted to get down low and I wanted him to get down low. And I wanted to do some little subframing with the out of focus leaves in that foreground image to the foreground. Sort of leads him into the sharp focused portrait. Got him looking up into the light, so the light's lighting up the side of his face, and then the shadow areas giving some depth. So sort of like this one. This is with the 50mm. We're still going with the 50mm here. And got him in the environment. What I was finding with the 50mm is that while I was shooting at f2.8 or f1.8 sometimes, which is a wide open aperture, the depth of field was still competing with the subject. So meaning that the background wasn't out of focus enough for my liking for the portraits. So you can see it's sort of a little bit busy there. And I was shooting inside the housing with the 50mm, and I sort of found out that the rain had stopped a fair bit, and I was finding out that I didn't really need my housing. Wasn't really getting the look I wanted. These are still all with the 50mm, walking down the stream, and while they're pretty good, the depth of field's not dropped off. This is still with the 50mm, so I got up close so that depth of field would drop off. Yeah, it's not exactly what I was looking for. The environmental portrait, that's a good portrait with a blurry background, but it doesn't really tell the scene. So then I've switched over to the 100mm, and this is when I come down with the 100mm with the R5. And Billy was just playing around with a stick, so I got a few before I even let him know I was here. And then you can see straight away that with the 100mm, I'm shooting at I think f2 or f2.8, I think for this one, and the background's really dropped off, but I'm still not getting exactly what I wanted. Like, I've got some nice scenes and nice portraits, but it's still not, I don't know what exactly I was after, but I wasn't quite there yet. So I got him walking up and down the stream, just sort of like, I think it's good to get the person in a portrait situation to be in the action of doing something rather than just standing there. So especially when I need a break or I need to break things up, I should say, I get him in action. So I got him to walk up and down the screen. Also, I can find the light. So when he came back down, it was this shot here that was the first time I really went, oh, there's some really nice backlighting. You can sort of see it on his hair there that's sticking out, that there's some nice backlighting coming in. Now his face is going into the shadow more or less. So straight away I went, okay, we are on here. I can get something going on with this backlighting. So the next shot, I got him to twist around so he's facing back into the light. So there's some nice backlighting hitting the top of his hair there. His face is opened up to it. I'm starting to get closer to what I wanted. Like, you can still see the green foliage around him, but it's out of focus. Now I've got some backlighting in the top corner of the left-hand corner of the frame that's coming down. Once again, lighting up his face enough. It's reflecting off the leaves. The foliage is still pretty good. Billy's just looking around in wonder. He's probably looking for pythons up trees at this stage, so he's sort of lost in the environment, which is, I don't mind that a bit. That's pretty good. And then I'm almost there. It's like, oh wow, that light is really coming in on him. And then boom, I think this one is one of my two favorites from the shoot. It's just got a really nice tone. The backlighting's nice. Got Billy's face nice and crisp. He's got this look of, he's intensely passionate about nature. He's inquisitive and he's always looking. So, he's scanning those treetops for lizards and snakes and that sort of thing. You've got the green foliage of the rainforest that's out of focus but still showing a certain sense of place. and that light's so beautiful. So that's definitely one of my favorites. And then that was my last shot I got of it before he actually did spot something. So I think he spotted a lizard on the bank here, and he's like, and then I've got those reactions are actually not forced at all. They there he's on the run. He's on the run to find that lizard. So I got a few snaps while that light was coming in, but once he finds that thing, he's off and running. So that was the last I got of that light. With it coming in, obviously it's sort of rainy, overcast day, so it wasn't happening all the time. So then I went for my last shot, which I wanted to get down lower to the river and get him exploring through the jungle. So these shots I backed off a bit, and you can sense the environment a little bit more in types of shots. And yeah, so with these shots, this is where the EOS R came in real handy. It's flipped screen. So I have got the EOS R, and now I've got the EOS R5. So the EOS R did actually have the flip screen, but it enabled me to flip that screen upwards and then go incredibly low to the water. So I've got my lens basically at water height, but I don't have to be, the bank that I was on was like that. So even if I laid on the ground, it would have been impossible to look through the viewfinder. So on a DSLR, this shot would have been near impossible. But with the flip up screen, I was able to hold it low to the water and then use eye focus, which is my favorite thing on these new digital mirrorless cameras. The eye focus is incredibly accurate, especially on this R5. So I'm able to lock in on the subject's eye, so I don't have to fiddle around with focusing points or get the focusing point lining up in my composition. I can just get it in eye focus, it grabs Billy's eye, and I can compose exactly how I want. So total game changer, eye focus in my opinion. But anyway, I was able to get that low to the surface look, which I really love in these photos. And one of these is probably my other favourite. I love the way he's looking at those treetops, the light's catching his face in that shot. Once again, that wonder is coming in, the light's still streaming in from behind him, tone's really nice, the rainforest looks super rich. Yeah, he's just loving it. This is his environment, so I'm so glad that we've got, I've got these portraits. So going back to my three favourites, I have to say that this one is my absolute standout favourite for what I was trying to achieve with this environmental portrait. And the reasons are that Billy's wonder of their natural environment is definitely captured in this. He's got passion, but he's super serious about it, but he's just got full enjoyment the whole time. So I think I captured his spirit pretty well here. I love the surroundings. You can definitely, it's pulled back enough that you can see that it's deep in a rainforest. The other thing that you bring to a portrait, so when you are taking a portrait, you are trying to capture the magic of that person, or the intensity of that person, or the spirit of that person. And that's what a portrait's all about. But I think that with every portrait, the photographer brings a little piece of them into the picture. And my style and my love is this sort of intense, ethereal light, like this heavenly light. I love the backlighting, the light and the shadow, the color depth, and all those sort of things. Things that contribute to my style. So while I've captured Billy's spirit, I think I've captured the things that I love about this world in the photo as well. So it's a portrait of him, but there's a little bit of hiding portrait of me inside that picture as well. So yeah, definitely a keeper for me. I love that picture. The other one I really like is those low to the water ones where he's really immersed in his environment. He's got his stick that he takes out there every day. And yeah, I just love the light in this picture. There's another picture there which has got a little bit more backlighting coming to the hair, and he's sort of just looking down and it's almost reflective but peaceful and everything in the same time. So they're my three favourites from the shoot, and that's how I got to come to all of those pictures. I really enjoyed it, and we managed to get some really nice light and came away with some good portraits of Billy. Yeah, so that's a wrap for today. I hope you enjoyed going through that little portrait with me, just a little 25-minute portrait shoot that I did in my own backyard. We just grabbed the moment, and it can show you that you can really make meaningful portraits, you know, in any environment. Although this is a pretty nice environment, I must say, but just saying, get out there and get out there in good light. Put the subject in a place which they enjoy and which they're comfortable in, which they're passionate about. And you know, there's like 90% of your shoot taken care of once you know your settings and how to control your camera to get your desired result. Well, then your portrait photography will come that much stronger. So if you want to learn more from me, I have currently got water photography courses if you like taking your camera into the water, and also working on other courses all the time, so you can touch base with me there. I've got some links below, and of course if you want, you can subscribe to this YouTube channel. So thanks for tuning in today, legends, and please comment below with any questions or suggestions.